Hello everybody, Average Gamer here, and welcome to a little video. So, the PTS for the skill tree has been turned off as of yesterday, and I thought after a long time of playing, skill tree PTS 2.5, that I'd give some feedback as to what I think is both the good and the bad, and what I think people are really going to like about it. Obviously, there's been some changes since the last one. They've been changing some nodes and stuff around. So I'm not going to say certain things that they've addressed here as problems per se, but we'll get into that. So a couple things that I like. We'll get into. I'm going to kind of mix up actually what I like and what I don't like because I'm going to be hitting on multiple things at multiple times. So the first thing I like about the whole thing is now I have to look at my mech and decide, what do I want to use this mech for? Is it going to be a brawler? Is it going to be a support mech? Is it going to be a long-range sniper mech? Is it going to be a spotter, LRM boat, SRM boat? Is it going to be, not carrying many weapons, but being very maneuverable, being able to flank around and hit people from the sides a lot? What is it that I want this mech to do so I can then utilize said skill points? I like that. Before, it was just, here's my mech, what are the quirks, how can I minimize and maximize those quirks versus my mech? Now, you have to look at your mech and go, okay, well, here is the hard points, here is what I could theoretically run on it, here is how I'm probably going to use it. What can I add to it to maximize it? Which is pretty good. Like, you're basically quirking out your mech to your own style of play. So if you play a long-range sniper build, you're not going to really put too much emphasis on armor because you're going to be from far away, right? So you're going to put your emphasis on firepower, mobility, and sensors, right? You want better sensor range and, advanced zoom and stuff like that. You really don't care too much about, seismic. In a Griffin 2N, for example, with the 4 SRM6s, or 4 SRM4s with Artemis, depending on what direction you go in, you want seismic. You want the armor. You want the missile quirks. You want the mobility. You want mobility, armor, and firepower. The holy triangle of my old job. Now, this inherently does have some good things and some bad things, which is going to get into the first part. Bad part. If you take only one weapon system into the game, you will be at a disadvantage. Why? Because not all systems unlock everything, which I also like. So I also don't like it, but I like it. What I don't like is the fact that if I take just missiles, I'm at a disadvantage. I don't like it, but it's acceptable. Why? Because the way the system inherently works now is you have to take at least 2 weapon systems to get the maximum potential of your weapons when it comes to all the augmentations and enhancements. Now, one thing I've also learned is take your weapons last. Go to your armor. Go to your mobility. Go to your sense. Go to the mech operations. Go to your jump jets. Go to the miscellaneous with all the, all the light support stuff. Look at all that stuff first and what's really important to you. And spend your XP and hard-earned C-bills on those first. Then go to your weapon systems. Your weapon systems can soak up a lot of skill points, which I like, because now it's not only about how much power you can actually put, but it's also how much damage you can take, how more maneuverable you're going to be. Which brings me to the actual engine changes. I like them. I've taken mechs with no enhancements around on the PTS, and they feel the exact same as they do on the regular server. 1 or 2 are more outliers. Certain mechs I've noticed feel better. Now, mind you, I have arm lock turned off, which means my arms can move around. So I've noticed, especially with arm lock turned off, at least, certain mechs feel more maneuverable than they did before, which is good. And quirks built into certain mechs, and actually the majority of them, from the looks of it, are incorporated into what the mech's base stats are now, which is good. I like that. No longer does your engine affect your transition speeds. But I don't mind that. Now my engine is all about just speed, which is good. I like that. That's that's the way an engine should be. Now, yes, future technology, blah blah blah. You don't know how it works. I know, but at the same time, if I was told if I upgrade an engine, I'm also upgrading the actuators in my arms and torso and all that stuff, that makes sense. But it never did, because you were never upgrading and changing out the actuators in your Mac. It was always, here's the price of the engine. It's like, okay, well, hold on. How come I'm able to turn faster and all that stuff? Well, just you can. It was just taken for granted that that's what would happen. But I digress. So with this, think of it as upgrading those actuators, because, I mean, designers design a Mac to go work with a specific engine and all that stuff, right? So your Mac has its base stats, and then you can augment those with the mobility enhancements. I like it. Certain Macs I've made retardedly mobile. I made a couple lights that I kind of got an upset stomach playing them, turning and twisting and all that stuff. So I like it. The lights are just insane when they're already as they are. They're already pretty good, but in the new system, I think they're gonna be a little bit more deadly. But with armor changes and all that stuff, obviously we'll see an impact later on. Now, that is that. One thing I don't like about the taking certain things is taking things that I don't want. I noticed specifically in the mobility tree, a mech operations tree, and the whatever the one with all the sensors is. I had to take certain things that I don't want. For example, in my summoner, I don't use my arms. My arms are basically there as meat shields. Actually, in a couple other mechs as well. I have no weapons on my arms. They are meat shields. They are there to absorb the pain that's dealt out from other players. Therefore, I don't really want to spend any of my XP on my, my arm speed, my arm pitch, my arm, anything. I don't want to spend anything on them. They're there basically to melt. They're there to be rendered down, as you would as you'd say in the barbecue field. But with the current mobility system, I have to take the odd little arm cork here and there. I don't like that. It's like, what's the point? Why do I have to take arm corks when I don't use my arms? I have nothing on my arms. They're useless. Didn't like that. Couple things in the sensor systems. I think it's sensors or operations. Either way. I can understand why you couldn't take certain things without taking other stuff. Like, for example, I think you had to take two sensor upgrades, and a target retention to get advanced zoom. Kind of makes sense, actually. Yeah, you can see the guy, but what really does it help you if you can't actually detect him with your sensors to see where to shoot him? It makes sense. Yeah, I shot you in the left arm, but am I doing any damage? I don't know. How far are you? Yeah, my target, my rangefinder kind of gives me an idea how far you are, but it's not 100% accurate. If I locked onto you, it would tell me exactly how far away you are. It will tell me where you're damaged, if I'm damaging you, and where I need to shoot. So certain things like there make sense, but pitch for arms and stuff like that, not a fan of. At least on the other side, I mean, it's a bonus effect anyways. Like, okay, my sensor range is a lot better, and I can keep locked onto a target if he goes behind a rock a little longer. That's no big deal. Because in the end, those are positively affecting my mech anyways. So, I like it. There's that. One thing I don't like about taking things is the fact that I can't distinguish between GXP and XP. For example, I have the ability to take 40 XP, mech XP, on my mech. I have the ability to take 40 skill points using my mech XP. I have the ability to take 51 with my GXP. So I'm going to have to use both XP and GXP on my mech. Okay, let's do it. So you do it, you work on it and all that stuff, and all of a sudden you look at it and you're like, oh crap, I'm at 96. Okay. Well, am looking here and it says I'm over on both my GXP and my XP. No problem. I'm gonna kind of remove a couple. You remove a couple and realize, oh crap, you're over actually on your GXP now. That, you're over the 51 that you need. Well, there's no way of knowing which ones are which. You don't know. You can't tell. There's no color change. There's no feedback. There's no nothing. Which is one thing I don't like. Which is one thing it looks like they haven't changed. Now, they do say they have changed some of the colors, but how it's unlocked, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that there's a difference between XP and GXP color. Or if there's some sort of feedback where you can hover over it and it tells you unlocked it via XP or GXP. So far, nothing, but we'll see. A tutorial would be nice, but there is none at this current juncture from the sounds of the feedback. I've talked to a couple people that are brand new to the game. I've also talked to a couple people that have been playing the game for a while, and I'm not going to say it's an insult to them, but more of a complexity of the situation where they don't really deal with things like this all that much. They don't really play that many online games, or games in general. So the skill tree system really kind of threw them for a loop, and I think it's going to punish people that don't play that much in regards to the fact that they're going to be getting nodes that they may not actually need. They may be getting nodes that are not the best for their mech. And all there is this little triangle saying, hey, this may not be a good idea for you. There's something in here that may not be good. But we're not going to tell you what it is. So that's the other thing too. Some better feedback. I would like some feedback other than when you go and actually save your changes. Because when you save your changes, it'll actually say you took some nodes that aren't compatible with your build. Okay, what does that mean? Like, can you tell me the nodes? Well, some feedback as to what I took by accident. Like, say I don't have AMS, but I took AMS overload by accident. I went and spent 91, I'm awesome, I hit save, I really love the way it is, but I kind of wish I had one or two more things, right? But I spent 2 of them on AMS overload without even realizing it. Why? Because they're in the armor freaking tree. And I thought I was just digging all the armor. So take all that stuff, and sure enough, 91, I wish I had 2 more nodes. 2 more nodes and I'd have my weapon systems perfectly how I want them. Or my maneuverability, I'd have all the speed tweak. I hit save and it says, some nodes you have taken are incompatible with your current build. It's like, well, thank you. What ones? Well, guess what? It doesn't tell you. Some sort of feedback at that screen telling me you took AMS Overload 1 and AMS Overload 2. These are not compatible with your current loadout. Well, that's good. I can go back, hit cancel, and unlock and relock the 2 of them and spend the 2 skill points where I like. Instead, I have to do my own homework and look at certain things and go, okay, well, hold on. I'm going to take AMS Overload. Do I have AMS? Go back to loadout, check my AMS. No, I don't have it. Another thing, when it comes to the skill tree, the miscellaneous for the support stuff, artillery strikes, airstrikes, and whatever. If you don't have them equipped before you go into the skill tree screen and upgrade them, it will tell you that you've picked some incompatible options. So I may have done AMS Overload, but I also may have done a whole bunch of the support miscellaneous stuff. Well, hold on here. That's technically valid because I'm going to throw this stuff on there after the fact, but because I didn't have an artillery strike and a UAV, or a cool shot, but I had an artillery strike and a UAV, I'm going to get boned there. So, some sort of extra feedback. Like when I take those and I save, it pops up the thing saying, okay, what modules do you want to use? And I can pick the modules I want to use, or even say, hey, just so you know, you picked these in your miscellaneous, you upgraded your airstrikes, blah, 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 but you don't have any airstrikes or / artillery strikes. You only have cool shots on your UAVs. Are you sure? Give me some feedback. Tell me what's happened. Yeah. What I do like, as I mentioned, is the whole thing about to be able to minimize and maximize your weapons, you have to take 2 weapon systems. I don't know if I've mentioned that, but I want to specify that. I like the fact that you now also, and I want to emphasize this again, you have to make a decision as to what you want to do with your mech before you tweak it out. One of the things I'm going to be doing, once the patch comes out of the 21st, I'm going to take mechs out without enhancing them. I'm going to leave them, play a couple of matches, and see where I want to change them. And slowly, but surely, add a node here, add a node there, and slowly work on each mech separately until I have all 91, and then I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm also going to build out the mechs the way I want, and just slowly work at it, one step at a time, just so you guys know as well, when it does go live on the 21st, I will be doing a video. I will also be doing a tutorial video on the 21st when it comes out, just breaking down how the skill tree system works, how to add, how to transfer, and all that fun stuff. So with that in mind, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.